Hey everybody, welcome to the daily readings for August 7th through the 20th. I'm going to be reading through Sunday, and I apologize for the funky lighting. I don't usually film at night, so this is a new setup. Okay, but just to get started, I wanted to give you guys some angels to work with while everybody's hopping on. I'm on later than usual, so we'll see who joins. I just have the messages from your angels deck out right now. And then so everybody knows, these are going to be moving over to Facebook. So you can just follow my Facebook page. It's Onyx Healing as usual. So I don't like to pester people with all the emails, so these are moving over to Facebook, which I'll post the link to in the description after I'm done here. Okay, so let's see what's coming up. And this is just like what you need right now in terms of support and messages. Hi, everybody. Oh, you want to take your sweet time cards? Is that the deal? Let's see what's coming up. Hello, hello, everybody. It's nice to see you. It's been a few days. Okay, let's see what's coming up. Rochelle, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. Okay, so really listen to yourself, listen to your guidance, your inner wisdom. That's coming through really strong today, or over the next few days, this can apply. And this is going to be for today. I know it's late, but the spread for today is about the unknown. So this is going to expand over a pretty extensive period. So don't feel bad like you're missing out for the day. Okay, so the seeds of intention for today, I cherish beauty. So just appreciate the small things, appreciate the connection and the beauty in everyday existence that you see coming through for you. It's just kind of acknowledging and showing appreciation. It kind of goes hand in hand with gratitude. I'm going to do a 3-card pick for everybody. We still have people jumping on, so I'm not going to start the spreads yet. I'm doing a 3-card pick with the Alchemist Tarot. So go ahead and focus on a card that's calling to you. And then if you have a question, some insight, or you're like, what, if you need to ask something specific, that's totally cool. Set your own timeline, whatever you want to do. Focus on the card that's calling to you. And card number 1, opportunity. So you have new opportunities coming in. The big word that's coming through is advice. So it's like the opportunities are going to shine through in the forms of advice from other people, as well as project opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity that's coming through in terms of social connection and the network that you have to begin with. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Card number 2. We have elixir. So there's a certain level of alchemy here. In the fact that you're kind of crafting things together, putting things together, creating, envisioning. It's like you're getting your recipe all mapped out, and then you're going to be able to call that in through manifestations over whatever period. These are ongoing. It's not limited to a day. And then card number 3, feminine. Okay, so really redefining divine feminine and divine femininity within yourself, within others, within partners, within mother figures. Thank you so much, Carrie. So it's all about putting together what exactly is divine feminine to you and how is that showing up in your world. Okay, so the first spread that we have is about the unknown, like what is known, what is unknown. As usual for the dailies, I'm using the 365 tarot spreads. So this is all about, no, I did not say magician. It's elixir. That's the card that was number 2. Okay, so this Rachel was given the tarot spread on her 5th birthday by the mysterious Dr. Apollo. She had been kind enough to allow me to reprint it here for your enjoyment. And it's from 78 Degrees of Wisdom, that Rachel Pollack wrote. So it's the mysterious Dr. Apollo spread. So if you're wondering about what's known, what's unknown, kind of what's lurking underneath the surface and kind of underneath the superficiality, that's what we're going to be reading. Okay, so let's take a look. We have what is known down at the bottom. And then we have what is unknown. Oh, I'll move these down for you. And then what's the danger? This isn't a scary card. It's just what you want to be aware of. Then we have the opportunity and the action. Hi, everybody who's hopping on. Okay. So what is known in this situation? 2 of Cups. Okay, so this is understanding what you know is your relationships with others. What you know is the strength that you bring to the table, your capacity to love. I'm not going to say unconditionally, but on a great level. So your ability to nurture relationships, nurture that connection with other people, that is what you know within your heart, within your mind, within your soul. So we have all of those connections coming through in terms of you know how you are as a friend, as a partner, as a mother, as a father, as, you know, however you identify, however you show love to people, that's where your strength is, and that's what you know and understand. Okay, it's kind of like there's no question here. So let's take a look at what's unknown. Judgment. So you're clear on this aspect, but in terms of really how to communicate that and take action on that is where there is a little bit of a block. And so it's all about, if I make this decision or if I do this, what will the outcome be? If I do the opposite, what will the outcome be of that? And so that's the struggle with everything in life. So I urge you to not let that deter you from taking appropriate actions in the moment, as much as you can, especially in regards to love and relationships. You know, we don't have very much time on this planet, so make the most of it. And, you know, remind people that you love them. Remind people that you appreciate them. Like, you never know when you're not going to be able to say those things again. And so any general readings, these are all different topics if you're new to this. So each topic kind of covers a different area, and it's intended for my viewers and everything. So it actually is a pretty small portion of people that I'm reading for. So, okay. Decision making is what's unknown, which is true for everybody, but this is kind of where the fear picture is. And then we have, what is the danger? So what do you need to keep your eyes peeled for? Scarcity. So this is like, oh, if I take this action and it doesn't go well, then I'll never have another relationship ever again, or I'll never be able to love again. And those types of that way of thinking is actually very limiting. And so the more you can expand from that place, and rather than sinking into a scarcity mindset, really stepping into a place of abundance is where you're going to see the growth and expansion. Okay, and what's the opportunity here? Mother of Pentacles. So this is like your ability to be nurturing. This is a relationship spread, quite honestly, of all types and varieties. And so it looks like as your deep level of compassion and empathy gives you all the tools that you need to be a healthy supporter and person who's able to connect with others and relate to others and be that powerful healer that we all have within us. And so that's really what the opportunity is within your relationships and within your decision making. And what action can you take? Okay, the Emperor. So thank you. So this is all about like owning it. So achieving that mastery over your relationships and just being able to stand in your strength and communicate what you think and how you feel is the absolute best thing that you can do within your relationships. And so the Emperor is the action you can take. It's just kind of like charging forward and actually taking more of a fiery approach. You know, this is yang. In the center, we have yang energy sitting here that's driving your relationships forward and your ability to be the Mother of Pentacles, however that resonates with you. Okay, so that was the spread for today. The August, I'm going to do the spread for tomorrow, which is August 18th. This is called Honor Your Ancestors. Today is the culmination of the Bon Festival, a Japanese Buddhist festival honoring the spirits of ancestors. Familial sites are visited, family reunions occur, and ancestors are believed to visit family altars. Lanterns, candles, and luminaries are lit and sent down to the river, helping spirits find their way back to the netherworld. I like this already. Okay, so this one's it's a little bit of a larger spread. Let's see what's coming through. What deck should I use, you guys? Ooh, we're going with Prisma Visions for this one. Definitely. Oh, you can't really see that, can you? Okay. So, bye. I hope you enjoyed. I know some people, when I do all four, they like to break them up and just watch them day by day. Other people like a forecast. So whatever feels right to you. And then I'll pull a Seeds of Intention card as well. For today, I stand tall. So again, kind of branching off of that previous card, the Emperor, in the center of that spread. He totally is, Stephanie. He's an amazing artist. The Lovers card in this deck is my absolute favorite. Okay, so let's see. Ancestor card. Okay, so this looks like it's representative of an ancestor. Can you see that? Yeah, right there. Okay. What is your message? Ah, okay, I see. Now I understand. I didn't look at that all the way through. Each one of these represents a different ancestor, just so you know. And then, how can I honor you? That's the next one. The next ancestor, let's see who's coming through. What is your message? And how can I honor you? Okay, and then we have the third ancestor. What is your message? And how can I honor you? And then we have, what is my family legacy? And How do I best honor it? Okay, so let's take a look at the first ancestor coming through. We have two of Pentacles. Okay, sorry about the lighting again. But this is someone who had to make tough decisions. So in whatever incarnation they were in, whether it be near your physical incarnation in this lifetime or, you know, centuries ago, millennia ago, it looks like this person was the decision maker. So it looks as though this person was the head of a household, having to make tough calls, having to make tough decisions for, you know, whatever was in the highest good of the people that they were taking care of. And so that it was this person's, this ancestor's ultimate level of mastery and completion within that incarnation. So let's see what's the message. Knight of Swords. So this is really affirming that you need to do what you know is right in your heart, what's in the highest good for everyone involved, and making sure that your ideas and concepts are coming from a place of benefit to other people, that they are in, you know, doing the work in the light. Because this card, I don't know if you can see that well, but it's about combating the darkness. It's about combating shadow. And so a big part of that is really stepping into that healer role, that responsible role, and just owning your ideas in terms of that and making those tough decisions. Okay, how can I honor you? The Star. So keep your hopes up. I know that it's very, very easy, especially when we live in a world where we are completely drowning in media and opinion pieces and every which way. You know, I am a big believer that the media wants us to be afraid. So this is all about like having hopes for the future. Okay, I know my internet's getting fixed on Tuesday, but I just want to let everyone know that these are going to be on Facebook from now on, if you didn't hear that in the beginning. So this is about really keeping your hopes up for the future, seeing the bigger vision, and understanding what can you do to push the world in whatever tiny way that is towards being a better place. Is it modeling healthy behaviors? Is it, you know, recycling? Is it, you know, serving the elderly? What is it that really pushes you towards giving back to the world? Okay, now let's see what ancestor number 2 is. We have the High Priestess. So this is divine feminine coming in really, really intensely. This is where all of the intuition is sitting, where kind of your own intuition, your own intuitive gifts, talents, and abilities stem from this ancestor. And so it's all about owning your inner knowing, your connection with divine source. So let's see what the message is here. And we have Judgment coming in again. That came through in the other spread as well. And it's just like, don't be afraid to walk through that door and see what's on the other side. And really not shying away from your own intuition. It's kind of like you have to walk through that. You have to walk through the fire. You have to do all of that stuff in order to really step into more of a high priestess role, you know, separate of all gender. That's not really the point, but it is about being able to harness your intuition. Even if you're down in the dumps or facing hard times, you have to walk through it and power through it in order to gain all of the insight and information that this ancestor has provided you with. So how can you honor this? Nine of Swords. Okay, so this is very similar to the Knight of Swords as well. And what it looks like is there is a certain level of fear that comes through in terms of, oh, well, if I harness my intuitive gifts and abilities, then what does that mean? What will people think of me? So there's a lot of persecution pictures that go along with doing this work. I'm not saying you have to read tarot, but just being an intuitive being. And, whether you have witches in your lineage or whatever that looks like to you, there's definitely a persecution picture. Like, if I open my mouth, if I speak this truth, then it's going to end in an unfortunate consequence and circumstance. And so this ancestor is reminding you that you just kind of have to power through it, and you have to stand up to those persecution pictures in order for them to shift out. Okay, let's look at the third ancestor. The devil. I like seeing this here. I'm not gonna lie. I really like this position because we all have this within us. The devil as an ancestor isn't actually Satan, okay? So let's step away from that. That's not what it means. But this is really someone who understands the duality of having an earth body, the duality of the good and the bad, the good and the evil, the healthy and the unhealthy. And so it's like in that incarnation, really the ancestor that was coming through was all about, experimenting and understanding shadow. And what this does for you in real time is it gives you that strength, that knowledge, that understanding of what shadow really is about, and being able to not combat it, but shift it. And shed light on it, shedding light on all the dark corners on the planet. And so we need this. We need this ancestor in order to heal. So this one's important. I just want to make that clear. Okay, and then what's the message? The world. And again, this is all about collective energies. So groupthink, brainwashing, macro ideologies that are being that other people are being programmed with. There are deep lessons both on the prosecution side, as well as understanding shadow and where that lurks in the world. And so there's a deep connection to source, as well as understanding the duality of existing. Okay, and then how can you honor this ancestor? Is through manifesting. So what this looks like is, as you harness your own power and your own understanding, you're actually able to shift out of the, you again are shedding light on those dark corners, as I said with the other ancestor. But more so, it's about manifesting light instead of dark. So manifesting healthy things, like I'm not a big fan of that whole thing about like, ooh, let's hex people. I think it's quite ridiculous and it makes us look bad. But I'm a big fan of manifesting things that are in the highest good of all involved. And that's what the lessons here have taught you to do on a lineage ancestor level. Okay, let's see what is my family legacy is the next question. The Emperor. Again, we have mastery coming through. This is like ownership, charging forward. Again, we have that yang energy that is coming to the forefront, and this shows up in your family. So let's see, before I say anything else, it's how do I honor this? And we have the gift. And so what this looks like is your ability to be a parent or a supporter in some capacity, to empathize with others, is really your gift that you're able to share with your family. And so it's really important for you to give that away within your family in really healthy ways. You know, that doesn't mean don't set boundaries. It just means that it is something that's meant to be shared on a family level. Okay, so now we're going to do the spread for August 19th. And this is Coco Chanel's Revamping My Wardrobe spread. So we'll see. This should be interesting. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna use the Paulina Cassidy for this. But first, let me do another Seeds of Intention for August 19th. For today, I nourish myself. As we move into Virgo season, taking care of your body becomes more important than ever. So it's that time of year when recharging your batteries. Hi, Diana. Practicing self-care, making sure that you are taking really excellent care of yourself is, you know, absolutely paramount. Let's see. Okay, and then I'll read about what spread I'm doing. I think it should be kind of funny, honestly, since it's a wardrobe spread. I am no fashionista, let me just tell you. 4 or 5. I'm going to move this up a little bit. This one's going to go way off the screen, but that's okay. I'll make it work. I'll probably push them up as I go. And, okay, down there at the bottom. All right, so this spread, on this day, Coco Chanel was born in 1883. She would revolutionize the fashion world by freeing women from binding corsets and introducing the famous little black dress. Okay, ballet flats, the Chanel suit, the quilted purse, and Chanel No. 5, a staple fragrance popular to this day. Okay, ready for a style change? Okay, I can hear it all. Yes, happy. Okay, great. Also, everyone, these are moving to Facebook, so make sure you go follow my Facebook page at Onyx Healing if you like these dailies, because I'm going to do them every day, and then I'll probably double up on like Friday or Saturday. Okay, so let's see what's coming through. What is my style? That's the first question. The Magician. This is popping up because I'm reading for a large group of people. Well, it's not that large, but because I'm reading for so many people, it's going to be different. So this is kind of a wild card in terms of whatever you want it to be. I don't know. I can't answer because everyone's style is different. That would be different if I were reading for an individual person, but that's why the cards are giving me the Magician, just so we're clear. So only you can answer that because it's really about your own connection to fashion and style and what that looks like. What new element do I want to embrace? This looks like simplifying. So this is I love this card. It's the 4 of coins. And so what it looks like is kind of toning down, not accessorizing as much, not using so much, and actually being more minimalist with what you're doing in your wardrobe and how really the world sees you as coming from more of a minimalist perspective. So perhaps you're cleaning out your closet right now and kind of wanting to sift through things, go through things, and reevaluate what you really want and need. Do I dress to express my inner self? Yes, while also keeping in mind that you are not being watched, but that, you know, image does matter. Because it's like a language. It does communicate what's going on. And so personal style says a lot more than just, you know, how much money you make. It's a much more complex issue. And so it's like, yes, you do, while also holding the perspective that it matters as well. Okay? In terms of how you're received. Okay, how can you change up your shopping habits? So again, we come back to minimalism, taking more of a simplified approach and really honing in on, so really just kind of dialing in, what do you want? What do you need? How much does it cost? So it's less about your, like what type of clothes you're wearing, and more about what type of effort are you giving them? How are you planning what you're going to buy? So it looks very strategic. That's kind of how you can change your shopping habits. What am I most comfortable wearing? Okay, so Ace of Cups, it looks like something that you are ultimately comfortable in. So I don't wear skirts and dresses personally. And so it kind of, when you walk out the door in something you're not comfortable in, it comes across and it translates. And so as long as you are comfortable, that doesn't necessarily mean sweats. You know, it could be slacks and a nice blouse is what you're comfortable in. It's all about how that comes across, and that's ultimately what you're comfortable in. Is what do you feel confident in? What do you feel versatile and flexible in when you put it on? Okay, and then we have, what clothing makes me feel powerful? How interesting. It's kind of like the clothing that makes you feel powerful is the clothing that's kind of intimidating to others, which I think is always fun to play with in terms of style. But that's kind of what's coming through, is like, yes, if I can kind of blow the doors off this place, then that means that I'm successful in being powerful. Okay, what makes me feel sexy? How interesting. With this card, I'm trying to give you more light. It's kind of like the more that is left unrevealed, it kind of creates this allure and this draw to, it makes you feel sexy because there's some parts that aren't revealed, or your style isn't fully revealed. And so there's this interesting, I need to set boundaries with what I'm wearing in order to communicate certain things. And it's like by holding back, it gives you a little bit more control, and that in essence is kind of sexy. That's what's translating from this card. And then we have, do I accentuate my body's natural assets? It looks like you do have an understanding, but it's still a learning process. So it looks like your natural assets actually change. Like there are shifts in what do you feel most comfortable and confident in, what do you feel less comfortable and confident in. And that's true for, you know, all the phases. Like if you were goth in high school and you're not goth anymore, you probably wouldn't feel comfortable dressing in a bunch of goth clothing today, or going to work looking like that. So it's all about it shifting with your, you know, by understanding within yourself what's a reflection of who you are and what that communicates to other people. What do I want to accomplish in the near future? So you have some type of idea. It's a Page of Swords. So it's all about like taking the initiative on something new, an idea that you haven't pursued yet, and really taking action on that. Do I trust my style instincts? There's a little bit of self-consciousness there. Of course, this is going to be different for everybody. Some of you might have a real passion for it, but you're not confident in it. Some of you are like, oh yes, I own this. But really what this looks like is there's self-consciousness. So even if you are comfortable in your own personal style, there's still this fear of judgment about what you are portraying via clothing and style. Okay, and the last card, how will a revamped wardrobe make me feel? I love this card because I know it's really hard to see, but he has his heart open, like it's a little door. And that always speaks to me in terms of heart chakra and just really showing that to people. Not opening, that's a completely different thing. And no, I'm not all about opening chakras because that's dangerous. But, and people don't generally know that. But it is about like showing your heart chakra to people and speaking your truth, which is, however you express that. So in style, in words, and all of that stuff, that's really what your wardrobe adjustment will provide. Okay, now the last but not least, August 20th. Okay, I'm using Morgan Greer for this one. This is Lovecraftian horror spread. Okay. So let's see what the seeds of intention are for August 20th. Or what it is. What is that seed? For today, I find time to rest. And this is because of the eclipse. That is why that card popped up. Because I know that the energy is shifting. Some of us, you know, it's going to hit really hard. For others, it's, you know, gonna, like the eclipse is hanging right over my moon. So I'm pretty beat, to say the least. Okay. H.P. Lovecraft, prolific author of essay, horror, fantasy, and science fiction, was born on this day in 1890. He invented a genre called Lovecraftian horror, emphasized the cosmic horror of the unknown rather than the typical symbols of gore and fear. Okay, he wrote about something and supernatural and terrestrial elements. And, okay, so let's see what's coming through for this. How thin is the skin of reality? I like this spread already. And then we have, what does the past teach me? Then we have, when do I feel most isolated? How do I overcome a sense of helplessness? And then we have, how can I accept unanswered questions? How close do I hover to the brink of insanity? This is, if you're watching and you're like, oh my God, I'm so scared, I'm going crazy. No, just look at it from a playful perspective. They're just cards, people. Okay, what is strange about my relationship with my parents? And this will be interesting. What truly underlies my reality is the last card. Okay, how thin is the skin of reality? Oh, all of these are going to be in reverse, of course. Okay, so it is about... This is interesting. It's almost like there's something going on behind the scenes that is just like, I'm only giving you so much to look at. So it's less about it being thin, and it's more like there's something going on in the background that we can't see. And that's really what's coming through here, is like, it's not thin. It's just being piecemealed out to us. Okay, what does the past teach me? Ace of Cups. about love, vulnerability, connection with others, you know, about the possibility of connection. It's all about possibility. Belief is half the battle. And so that's what the past lessons are all about. When do I feel most isolated? It looks like you kind of do that to yourself. Your isolation looks self-induced, especially with the Magician here. It's kind of like, well, you get what you ask for, you know, if you speak it, you receive it type thing. And so that's coming through here, is like, if you really get yourself in the headspace of, I'm all alone, I don't have anyone around me, then that will absolutely become your reality and you will feel isolated. How do I overcome a sense of helplessness? By getting support. It's like, of course we have this card because it's like, oh, this person is helpless. They're all bruised and tattered. And so it is about finding that person who's able to support you and love you and care for you. When you have that person, it just makes life so much easier, whether it be a parent or a spouse or a partner or friend. It's all about support. How can I accept unanswered questions? It looks like pouring yourself into your own work, your own projects, your own self-improvement is kind of the remedy to that. And not all questions get clear answers, and that's okay. It happens from time to time. And it's about shifting your focus. And perhaps the answer will come on later, and perhaps it won't, but at the end of the day, you're being productive. How close do I hover to the brink of insanity? See, it's a good thing this came up, because it's like, well, I don't know, there's a gazillion ways this could go. So it's kind of a silly question, and so the tarot gives us a silly card, because it's like, you know, there's all 7 of these things. It's not clear. And the tarot wants it that way because this is a silly question. So I'm not even going to go into that because I know that like scares people or whatever. Okay, what is strange about my relationship with my parents? There's part of this that's kind of like you are the black sheep a little bit, in terms of you have your own ideas, ways of thinking, ways of doing things, your own version of ambition, and that probably doesn't translate or isn't as in alignment with what your parents want it to be, or their perfect picture and ideology of it. And so it's kind of like, it's strange because you completely branched off and just do your own thing regardless of this, because there's a lot of people who do things for their parents and not for themselves in terms of life plans and goals and career. And so it looks like you've definitely carved out a slice where you understand that you have to do things for yourself. Okay, what truly underlies my reality? Strength. Beautiful. That's a perfect card to have come through. Okay, so, you know, perhaps take a peek at your natal chart and see what's in Leo. You know, that might also give you a little bit more insight here. It's interesting that I'm even bringing up Leo. I'm not a fan of, like, committing tarot cards to astrology, but it comes up from time to time, just on a very basic level. And so it looks like you really do have that strong core, your ability to persevere, to see the big picture, to make changes, to radically be yourself, unapologetically be yourself in some really beautiful ways. Whoops, sorry. And that's really what's coming through here. Okay, so I hope that everyone's enjoyed this. If you want more info, I'll be putting that in the description once I hop off here. And Also, these are going on Facebook. I know I've said that a bunch, but my daily reads are now going to be on Facebook as of Monday. So if you want to catch those, go like my Facebook page. It's just Onyx Healing on Facebook. So those are going to be starting on there as of Monday. And I'll see you next time. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.